Hello everyone, I hope you're doing really well and thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful day. So we are at the latter stages of autumn now, I would say. Some of the colours are still extremely nice, but a lot of colour has sort of vanished because the leaves have been blown off the trees or naturally fell off at this time of year. There's been a lot of bad weather. I almost feel that this is like a trilogy of autumn videos that I've made. If you haven't seen my previous two videos on my channel, they're all about autumn photography. Again, today I'm using my Fuji GFX 50S 2. And I've been able to get out more in autumn and capture some nice images this year than I thought I was going to be able to. You'll see some of the reasons why in my previous videos due to storms and so on. But I'm off on a bit of a hike today. There's still some little bits of autumn colour scattered around, more so in different areas, so it'll be exciting to see what I can find. It may look quite nice, although I'm in a shaded area at the moment, but it is quite a nice sunny day. There's some clouds going around, but it is bitterly cold. Not as cold as it's going to get in Scotland by any means, but it is 0 degrees today. I think it feels like -1, -2, so it is quite cold. But yeah, I'm excited to see what I can find, so let's start today's journey. So I've just been having a look at this tree here behind me and it is so characterful. I believe it's completely devoid of any leaves, so certainly no autumn colour in this one, but we've got a really interesting backdrop with the hills and low-lying cloud. I've got the opportunity here to use this path as some fantastic leading lines. And then we've got an open gateway just behind the tree as well. So there's quite a lot of nice elements here to align into an effective composition. And we've also got some interesting trees off in the distance. So there's a lot of elements that I like. I'm going to try and piece these together into a nice composition and I'll show you the result. But I think I'm quite pleased with this one to start off today with. So I've just placed the video camera down in the ground really quickly because there's some fantastic light going on off behind me in the distance and I need to concentrate on getting my photograph. I've quickly grabbed a shot, but it's changing all the time, so I need to get back to the photography. But what I really like about the Fuji GFX 50S 2 for scenes like this is that I can capture it all in one exposure. I don't need to do any exposure bracketing. There's plenty of dynamic range, so I really find that a good benefit. And it's certainly going to be handy here because depending on how much of the scene I take in, I can be taking in extremely bright sky. The sun is just up to the top right, and then the ground is very dark. And it's not a case of I want to really brighten up the dark ground. I'm going to leave it just the way that I can see it now, but I can capture the whole scene, the whole dynamic range without clipping at either end of the histogram. So yeah, back to the photography and then I'll show you this one. So I'm enjoying my hike today. The weather is fantastic for being out walking. It's certainly something I enjoy as well as the photography. I just want to talk briefly as I go along this section here about a few misconceptions that I sometimes hear, just some general thoughts that I have. And often I hear people saying that in autumn and moving into November that you don't get any midges or ticks in Scotland. And I just like to dispel that. I often hear that said. I certainly know it's not true. So at the moment it's about the middle of November. This video, I won't get a chance to upload it and edit and so on for a few weeks. But I was out 4 days ago in a woodland, a misty morning, quite cold, and I was surrounded by midges. I got so many bites, they were all over my face and hands, little marks where I was bitten. They were crawling all over my camera, including the front of the lens, just a real nuisance. Then 2 days ago I was in a different woodland, again trying to capture some of the last autumn colour, and I found 2 ticks on my trouser legs as I was going around the woodland. And actually a third myth that I hear about ticks, apart from the fact you won't get them in autumn and November, is that you won't get them if you stick to paths. Well, in this woodland I was on paths all the time. There was nothing even ankle high that I was near, no ferns, and I got 2 ticks. So just maybe some advice or information that will help some people. Always be on the lookout for ticks. I certainly am very wary of them, and I've been finding an awful lot of them this year. A huge increase. I've seen more ticks, had to remove more ticks this year than ever. So just something to think about and be careful when you're outdoors. So at the moment I'm looking across at a fantastic scene, and I'll try and describe it for you. However, I could potentially leave without taking a photograph. And that is simply due to the light. You may see some light on me, it may look quite nice, but often the direction that I'm wanting to take the image, which is probably quite a few miles away, there is no light. I can see some light breaking off to the side, but the actual area that I want to photograph is getting no light. So I will be disappointed if I have to leave here without a photograph, but if the light doesn't improve, I simply won't take one. There would be no point in my opinion. But I'm looking at a stretch of land, fields, trees, hillside, hills and mountains. And the furthest away section, the mountains, have got a really good covering of snow. Just above that we've got a wonderful atmospheric sky, some moody grey cloud, white cloud, little hints of blue, some grey sky. So we've got quite a nice scene. I can see a number of potential compositions, but I've got my eyes set on perhaps 2, I think. It really is nice, and I can just see some light. It's almost trying to touch some of the distant hills at the moment. So there is the opportunity to perhaps capture an image here. That's definitely the best it's been. I'm just taking an image here, and there is some light just starting to catch some of the hilltops. My composition's working as I have it framed up at the moment, but as the light changes I may alter my composition. But yeah, it's starting to break through. Being a photographer, a landscape photographer, are we ever happy? I would like to see some light falling in different areas, but it's getting good. So I'm going to concentrate on this image and I'll show you the result. So I'm all set up here. I've got my GFX 50S2 in the tripod, and I'm using my telephoto lens because I've seen great potential in a scene down beneath me here off in the distance. And it's got a lot of elements of late autumnal colour. This little section here is definitely the most I've seen today in one area. And I really like it. I like the rocky background. I like some of the winding rivers and ponds that surround some of these autumnal coloured trees. And I think there's potentially a nice composition. But in landscape photography, what else do we need? There's a few things, but other than a nice composition, of course, we need light. And at the moment, I know the sun is behind me, and it's behind a thick bank of cloud, and any breaks are few and far between. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to get any colour in this scene. Any light rather. However, because of the colour, it may actually work without, you know, really nice light hitting that area directly. If I could just get a little lift in the light, I think it could still make quite a nice shot. But I really don't know what will happen because there's so much thick cloud where the sun is. So it's just a case of being patient. It's something you need to do a lot in landscape photography. And yeah, I may end up with a nice shot here. So this is where the sun is at the moment, and I've been waiting to try and get this shot for about 30 minutes now. And you may see just there the first break in the clouds. And I'm hoping that is going to bring some more break in the clouds and the sun can shine through. That's the direction that the sun's coming from. So fingers crossed I may be able to get enough light to capture the image that I want. So it's been a long wait, but hopefully you can see this beautiful light hitting this scene in front of me. It's just bringing it to life. And I'm trying to watch where the light is falling, but oh, it's been so much worth the wait. You can hopefully see it in the back of the camera here as well, just how it's bringing that scene to life. It is absolutely beautiful at the moment. I've been waiting here, I would say, about an hour for this, and it's such an uplifting sight to see the sun breaking through the clouds. This is the moment that I've been waiting for, and I don't think it's going to last too long. That patch of trees, that group of trees with the autumnal colour is getting the light. And there's been some rain as I've been waiting. And I spoke earlier about ticks and midges. There's actually been some midges hovering around me here as I've been waiting, even though it's been extremely cold. But that is beautiful. That is just what I wanted. The light is just perfect at the moment. I'm so pleased I've got this shot. I'll now jump forward to having seen the image on my computer, having edited it, and you'll see the final result now. That light really didn't last long. The scene lost all that beautiful sunlight within probably about a minute or so, I think it lasted, but it was such an exhilarating finish to my photography today to see some light hitting that scene. I really knew it would come alive if the sun could just break through the clouds, and when it did, it was such a joy to capture that image. I haven't seen the final version yet, but I am, fingers crossed, quite hopeful that it's a good one. If you've enjoyed this video, have a look at my previous 2 autumn videos in which I've been shooting with the Fuji GFX 50S as well. And also, I expect there will be some more videos coming up on my channel, perhaps 1 more, perhaps 2, showing some of the other images that I've captured during autumn this year. I've been out quite a lot, most of the time without making video. I do a lot of photography without making video, and I've certainly captured a few images that I'm really pleased with, some woodland images, and I captured some quite stunning light at times, so I'll be showing those hopefully in a future video. But for now, as always, I just want to finish by taking a few seconds to thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. That's what keeps me wanting to make these videos. I hope you've got some enjoyment out of it. It's time for me to go off and hopefully build up some body heat by hiking home. So thanks so much, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one.